by the most also wonderful co-host, Mare, and we are back to talk about Real Housewives of New Jersey. But if you are an avid reality check podcast listener, you know that we are starting off with what are you drinking? So, Mare, what are you drinking?
It's called H2O, since it's water.
Girl, let me tell you something. We are drinking the same thing.
Can I tell you something
With just H2O
funny?
in it.
There's a video that I saw where this white lady was teaching us about some new product that adds more hydrogen to water. And she says that, because water doesn't have like hydrogen in it. And I swear, people in the comments had me crying. They were like, oh, it literally says H2.
I thought this was going in a completely different direction. I'm like, is she trying to create a whole new chemical compound to water?
I look at you like this.
But that did not go as I thought it would.
Hydrogen.
Okay.
What did she think it was? Somebody didn't go to chemistry class?
It's not even, I don't think someone was paying attention. Because we're educators. We know we teach it, but some people don't pay attention.
Oh my God. It's like one of my kids, I remember, like, I was playing Jeopardy with them, and then, oh my goodness, we were talking about the fertilization of plants and reproduction, and one of the students was like, oh, I know what pollination is. It's reproducing. And then, one of my kids, his name was Isaiah, I remember, he's so smart, he looked at her, he's like, are you okay? He's like, are you okay? like, how do you reproduce?
That little boy must have been so mad.
He was so pissed. Like, the way he looked at her.
Like, why do I have to be here with these people? I cannot.
Reproduce. He's like, how do you
how do you reproduce? Like, are you even? That's one of my students would have been like, are you even smart, bro?
I know.
Are you even smart, bro? Not reproduce. He said, are you
okay? That's the energy that people in the comments are giving this lady. Like
what? Is everything all right, ma'am? Did you really record it, review it, post it, and you're okay with it?
Yeah.
And that probably added a caption to it too.
She was so confident. Like, so confident. I'm like, wow.
Well, I guess since we're talking about confidence, we could talk about these confident women of New Jersey. Real Housewives of New Jersey is back. And I think, I'm already tired. Yeah. And I'm tired because of the fan base.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Why? What has the fan base done to you? What have they been doing?
Man, don't act like you ain't seen the comments.
I'm not gonna lie. I look at the comments, this is how I look, and then I'm like, okay, I'm tired. And then I just go back to doing my thing. I can't. Listen, I'm not okay. Like,
the New Jersey honestly, like, a lot of Housewives all of the Housewives fan bases are just not good. But New Jersey is vicious. And Potomac is getting right up there. And I'm just and it's definitely not even just our comments.
Yeah.
It's also
all
like
the creators.
Other creator comments. Like, you are not allowed to observe a thing and have an opinion. Yeah. It's almost as if you must agree with. It's not. The masses don't even agree. Don't even agree.
And I think a lot of the things that you've been getting is that, like, you're not fair or something like that, right? People want creators to be fair in their assessments, but I think we forget that the whole point of an opinion is that an opinion requires one to actually choose a perspective, a side, which you cannot, like, adjudicate fairness to that. Like, you have to choose something, So,
and that's the thing is, like, I think that what I have to always remind myself is, again, you and I have both seen it takes all kinds to make a world. Not everybody is on the same intellectual wavelength.
Absolutely.
Not everyone vibrates the same.
Absolutely.
So I try to grant grace based on that, and simply, instead of arguing with you and going back and forth, is just delete your comment and block. That's depending on like the severity of the comment. But a lot of times it's just like, you know what, I just don't even have the energy or the time to explain to you that your definition of fairness and what you think fair is not what I believe fair to be.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? Whoever it is in that moment that I feel, from my observation and from my standpoint, if I feel that this person is right, then I'm going to say this person is right, because that is my vantage point. If I do not tend to agree with a certain character, I don't agree with that character.
Yeah, and you have every right to not agree with that character. And I think I don't know why people want you to agree. I think for the most part, it's not necessarily like people want you to be fair. They want you to agree with them. That's it.
They really want me.
That's it.
They really want me to really like their favorite.
Yeah. They really do.
You know what I mean? And I tend to not like their favorites. And I don't know, or like the character of their favorite. I don't know these people in real life, so whatever.
Right.
But we created this platform to share our opinion and perspective on the characters that we have been watching. So to that I say, if you are listening right now, and if you are tuned in and you frequently listen to us or watch our reviews, you're following and you're tuning in because of our perspective. So we can't alter that because you just so happen to have a favorite and we don't favor your favorite. So I always say, you do not have to consume content.
You definitely don't. You can just
do not
literally, like some people have done. They've unfollowed, and that's perfect.
It's honestly, there are many creators that I don't agree with at all. Big creators too that I don't agree with their viewpoints. Swipe. Just keep it pushing. And what do? I created my own platform to share my own viewpoint, and that's just that. But anyways, it's fine. New Jersey is, it's making me tired already. I spent all of, I think, Monday just deleting, blocking.
Yeah, girl. I feel you. I feel your pain.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry.
Hey,
but it's what it is.
So in the season premiere, this season premiere was quite interesting. And I think primarily very interesting because of all the stuff that's going on in the background.
What's going on in the background?
So have you been keeping up at all with the whole Gabriella, Melissa's old nose of it all?
No, and it just seems like it's just a lot, and I just can't even keep my head straight with what's going on. So no,
it's a lot. It's a lot. Disclaimer before I get into explain. I won't explain everything. So if you do want to know the full story, please, I encourage you to go to Chrissy Ball's Instagram page and TikTok page, and she has a podcast called Pop Culture with Balls. She did an episode with Gabriella from Melissa's old nose, and Gabriella broke it down and broke everything down. Apparently this is actually just scratching the surface of all the things that were going on. Gabriella also did a podcast episode with Dana Wickley, I think. She was on season 1 or 2 of Beverly Hills, and she was like $25,000 sunglasses. Yeah, she did a podcast episode with her, and also explained some things, and also went on Patreon to further explain some pretty dirty things that have been going on behind the scenes.
Interesting.
And it's quite dirty. I'm not going to reveal it here because I just don't subscribe to that type of mess. That's just not my ministry. So, yeah.
Did you listen to it on the Patreon, or?
I did listen to it on the Patreon because I was just curious as to
you paid?
Yeah, it was just $6.
Oh.
Yeah. I did. I paid because I wanted to know what is the depth of, because they kept alluding to like it's really bad. So I'm like, okay, what do people really consider to be like really bad?
Really bad.
You know what I mean? So I want to know what is the depth at the. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's. I hope it's not true. If it's true, I'm highly disappointed.
And you're
Teresa.
Disappointed in Teresa? You could be disappointed in Teresa?
I know.
Really?
I know. Like it's, yeah. But anyways, I'm so sorry. I know some people are probably really mad at me right now for not sharing. I really don't feel comfortable spreading that type of news because it is it is that damaging.
Is it something that we might see on the show later on?
I don't think so. Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, it's just that damaging, and I just don't want to be
Of course,
a party
you don't
to that.
want to be the...
Yeah. I do. If you do want to know what it is, just go listen to Dana's Patreon, and they do talk about it. So yeah, you can go. It's like $6 or so, and yeah, you can just go listen to that. But pretty much Gabriella has been releasing tons of screenshots and screen recordings of conversations with allegedly conversations with Jim Leonard. This is Teresa's lawyer, Teresa herself, Jennifer Aiden, and about finding information, releasing it online, planting it online so that they can use it during the season
as stories.
Yeah, in which we are allegedly seeing the successful version of that
come
play
through.
Out. Yeah, come to fruition with this whole John Fuda allegation.
Can you tell me, like, what made Melissa's old nose start putting these things out? Like, was there something that happened?
Yeah, so she... Wait, so we're talking about what started the page or what made her turn?
What made her turn? What made her turn?
She had mentioned, and I first of all, go listen to it because I don't want to misrepresent her words. So I really, really encourage anyone that's listening and you, Mayor, to go and listen to the podcast. But she had mentioned something about it was just getting too dirty or something like that, and she just didn't. I didn't really fully understand what made her switch, honestly, but something about like it just wasn't, I don't know if it just wasn't sitting right with her any longer, or something had happened and there was dissension amongst the group, and then she just said like she doesn't want to be a part of this anymore, and this is just not what she no longer wants to tear people down in this way any longer.
So how long has she been working with Teresa before she turned?
Don't quote me. I want to say like 2 years or so. Okay. And there are people that have been working with Teresa for like 12.
Really? And do we know their pages?
We do. Think big.
You know, those pages are, I think, the pages that have led to the crazy fandom of Teresa and the crazy support. So they have a lot of responsibility in how quite lunatic people behave in regards to Teresa.
Do you remember, I think it was last year, we had on Caitlin from Besties by Bravo.
Yeah.
And both of us kind of winked at each other and were like, yeah, we know there are accounts that are targeted.
It's very clear.
Think
like
that.
No matter what.
Think that direction and you'll know exactly who it is. But I think the big thing out of all of this is the legality that has really come from it, because if they are planting stories, technically that's not really like illegal, right?
No, it's not.
If they are feeding things to the press, I mean, I think it could be, it's definitely unethical and most likely against their, in violation of their contract and things like that, to be feeding things to the press and having, they have connections allegedly in like The Sun and different, and Reality Blurb allegedly. Unethical for sure, and most likely in violation of whatever contract you may have. But where it gets legal is allegedly they were sending the episodes prior to
part. Okay.
Yeah. Prior to
interesting.
Them airing. So Gabriella, what she has done, she basically shared the entire season with us. So when I watched the episode on Sunday, I was like, everything she said that we were going to see, that's what we saw.
Okay, now what is the point of sending them the episodes previous to their airing? Did they want them to... What was the reason that Teresa and Jen had behind this?
So according to Gabriella, and again, y'all don't shoot me, I'm just repeating what I heard on the podcast. I definitely think it's worth a listen. So please, I'm paraphrasing. I have a lot of other things in my life, so I'm not also remembering every single word. So please go listen to it, so I'm not misrepresenting anything. But according to Gabriella, they would send these screeners to them ahead of time, so that way they can get ahead of any story. So if it is a narrative that will not favor Teresa and Camp, then they will, release something to justify why she did what she did, or, to kind of shift the narrative to make her look to favor the audience, right? Or they will, if it's something that will make, you know, Teresa's camp look good and others look bad, they will just try to get ahead of whatever the story would be.
Okay.
That was allegedly the motive behind sharing.
I have personally wanted to stay out of this because I also just want to be a viewer.
Yeah.
And not a... So, like, whenever you guys hear any of my reviews, it's definitely from the eyes of somebody who just
watched it.
I just want to just watch it and see, you know, what is. But obviously, I have a notion, an idea of all the things that have gone on. But I'm not very privy to them. And I'm going to stay that way until the season's over so that I can see what's going on. But Diana has done a good amount of, you know...
I haven't even dived like that deep into it.
She hasn't dived that deep into it, but like it's still...
I also don't want to kind of like... I don't want to be in it. I just want to be an observer that wants the tea. You feel me?
I get it.
I just want to know, like, okay, what's the tea? But I think for me, what was most shocking was... to hear her say what's going to be on the season and what we're to expect on the episode, and then to watch the episode and see that, and I'm like, ay.
So she's basically giving people what has happened first episode to what has happened in the last episode.
The finale, yeah. She's already shared all of that.
I wonder if Teresa and Jen are going to get in trouble from NBC Universal.
A lot of people think that they're not going to because, I mean, let's be honest, Housewives do this all the time, right? I think for me, what was the shock was just the confirmed evidence. I honestly thought that we'd never, ever see it. So when they're talking about like, oh, word on the street is, or I heard and it's all over the internet, well, we know that it is because it's either you planted it, you told this person to reach out to this person and get you the information or whatever the case is. So it's been happening. So people believe that it is nothing's going to come from it. I honestly believe that nothing's going to happen either, because if anyone knows Bravo and NBC Universal, they promote and elevate and pedestal bad behavior. They don't cut it. You know what I mean? People have been able to physically assault people on these shows and then be asked back for a second season.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they're going to now decide to play the, moral police. So...
Okay, well, all right. We'll see what happens. We'll see how this. We will see. Out.
But what we did see on this episode was Teresa came for John Fuda. Excuse me, she didn't come for John Fuda. She came for Rachel. And I don't even know how the conversation started. I think they were just saying bye, and then Teresa brought up like, by the way.
Can I just say something? The way that was inserted, I was just like, this is so fake. Like, at this point, like, why did that even have to even be said? It didn't even have to be said. And it's just like, the producer probably said, all right, create the drama. Like, start now. And I'm like, it was so inauthentic. Like, it was like, what? You're saying bye, like, and by the way, your husband needs to stop talking about my husband. Yeah. And that's like, where did that come from? Like, what?
Yeah, that's the thing is... Given the receipts that came out from Gabriella, it was intentionally planted. And you could actually kind of see it in the episode. You see Teresa, like, it's almost like she was like working herself up just to have a reason to be upset and say, you come for my husband, I'm going to come for yours. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, I don't think that Teresa was actually upset in that moment. You know what I mean? Like, it was clear that she was looking for something so that she could just drop the tea and say what she wants to say, call him a drug dealer, call him a double-sided whatever object, and just so she can, have that moment. It was so obvious. It was not a natural, like, Rachel insulted you or whatever the case is. I think before that, first of all, Rachel was inebriated.
Yeah, she was really drunk.
Inebriated. And she was like, I think Teresa said something about my husband's a gentleman. She's like, what, Teresa, what do you know about gentlemen?
Yeah.
That did not. What do you know about gentlemen? And your husband's a drug dealer? Those don't. They do not
equate in terms of.
No, they do not. They're not in the same wavelength of insults, So it just felt like, okay.
But I remember
sister's trying to work herself up to, drop the bomb and drop the tea.
Yeah, I think from there's a recap you did where you had the picture of Jennifer and Teresa in the car. Wasn't Teresa? Teresa was at that time talking about the whole on social media, John Fuda, all this stuff, whatever. I was just like, it was just this was such an unnatural conversation, just like not the way that you insert something like that into it at all. Like there
Yeah.
wasn't even any, oh, can I pull you aside and just talk to you about what happened last season with my husband and et
Yeah.
cetera, et cetera. It was just like, oh, bye. And then you could see the body language, and she's just like, and by the way, that's like,
Yeah.
stop, like,
And
stop.
if you look closely at Jen's face as like Teresa's about to like get going, you can
Yeah,
see Jen is like anticipating, is she gonna say the thing? Is she gonna
yeah,
say the thing?
yeah,
In both
yeah.
conversations, she's like anticipating, like looking at Teresa.
It's
Like,
just,
and I'm like, "Ugh, this is not, it's just not, it's not giving natural, it's giving
no.
forced.
It was very,
And it's just
very,
not, it's not with it. I'm
very.
not with it.
The
So
the one thing I will say though, when all these rumors are coming up, I'm thinking they are just rumors. Okay. But with John Fuda coming out with that statement about people coming for his life, blah, 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 whatever, apparently he had a past. Okay.
hmm
So I was like, oh, I didn't even think that, like, it was, true. But I guess it was true, whatever Teresa's saying. But still, it doesn't mean she needs to bring it onto the show to talk about them. I don't think that these people have really any impact on her life, any which way, shape, or form. But I will say, like, I don't like when a man is yelling and talking to a woman. Like, I understand, like, I get it. He's protecting, like, I get it. But, like, I just, like, man, like, let your wife, let her, I mean, she was drunk, but, like, just let her, if she wasn't really drunk, she should be the one that should be, yelling and talking at Teresa because John, as a man, like, just step away. The best thing that he said was has been. You could say that. Say that over there and just call it a day. I understand it, but I just am like, oh, I would just wish you weren't like getting in her face and allowing her to even have that moment of power
yeah.
over you. Because she really did. She got underneath his skin so much.
So here's the thing: is first and foremost, John, go and sit down. This is like your second argument in the night in the same place. Go and sit down somewhere and just drink some water, relax.
He was
But
drunk too, you think?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. But or I also, he also comes off to me like a hothead, which it fits and whatever. People are hotheads. I honestly like kind of blame Rachel for that a little bit
Because she
because
brought him over, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
why I don't understand. As a woman, as a wife, a woman is coming at you about your husband. Eat her up by
Definitely.
yourself.
Definitely.
Or be like, okay, cool. And then, like as housewives do, invite her to lunch and then eat her up there. Do not involve your husband in that
Yeah.
conversation and in that situation, because so many things are happening. First and foremost, you're allowing Teresa, you're giving her so much power and allowing her to have access to your husband to say anything and hurl more heinous accusations and insults his way. And then you have a situation where you have a man, because honestly, rightfully so, he has to defend his character.
Yes, of
And
course.
he has businesses, he has children.
Of
He
course.
has to defend what is being
Said
alleged and
about
what
him.
is being, said about him on a national platform.
Yeah.
So he's right in what he's doing. However, there's no good. He can never win in that type of discourse with Teresa because she's a woman. And we already know, and we've seen how it will play out. So it's best
But
that in the case that he has an issue with what she's saying, shut up. Just shut up. Sit down. Wait for Louis to get back. And then you unleash and you yell at Louis. You yell at Louis, not her, not
yeah.
Teresa. I also don't like, even though I'm not a fan of hers, I don't want to see her in a position where she is being yelled at by a man. Even though she's causing it, she should not have to be in that position.
She shouldn't have to be in that position, but I will say this to John Fuda's I don't know, whatever I'm trying to say. She did this.
She did call him over.
She invited it.
She did
And
call him over.
so the moment you invite that, I mean, not anything is up for grabs, but like if he is having the conversation with you in a loud tone, you invited it,
You did.
and that's it. And so,
You did.
But yes, but
Well,
I do agree
Rachel
with,
invited it. Teresa co-signed.
yeah, for sure.
I was not
Rachel
happy with
invited
how
it,
Rachel
Teresa.
handled that situation.
Yeah, yeah. But
You
Teresa
go and
was
tell
all
your
about
husband.
it.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, man.
can you
Yeah.
think of other house husbands? Do you think that they would actually go to talk? Eddie would go and find your husband.
There
That's what
are
Eddie,
some-
actually, Eddie on Potomac, he did that when the whole accusation was coming out
Yeah.
at Wendy and him. He was like, wait, Juan. Wait, Juan. He didn't even bother. I think someone asked him something. He said, please, I beg. Juan, where are you at? Where's Juan? You know?
Yes,
He doesn't,
yes.
he's not engaging in that mix, in that mess.
And I think he comes from a different worldview, a different type of upbringing, and that makes sense. Listen, because I can name a couple of men who would not talk to the other man from all these housewife shows. We have Peter from Atlanta. He would go at it with the women. You have Melissa's husband, who will go at it with his sister and go at it with anybody. Like, you know, there's certain men who just don't have that particular you know, notion and idea of just, you know, making sure that they're preserving their manhood in a sense and not accosting a woman. I'm just saying, like, because listen, like at the end of the day, as a man, as little as you are, like Joe, what's his name? The little man. What's his name? What's his name?
Which one?
There's only one little one there.
Okay, there's
like,
Joe
what's his
Gorga
name?
and there's Joe Benigno.
Girl, Joe Benigno don't even matter. Joe Gorga, he's the one that matters. He's the little one.
I like Joe Benigno, but
okay,
Benigno. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
It's okay. Let's not screw up their name. But like Joe Gorga, as tall as we are as women, he could overpower us. As small as he is.
Don't see those
muscles.
muscles.
I'm just saying. I'm telling you, like he's a man. Like, at the end of the day, like
that
you know,
he is.
Like he is not that cute, Diana. See, please don't.
Hear me out.
Don't hear her out. She's just playing with y'all. Please, God. Please, no.
Yo, okay, let me not do that because these are married men. Listen, but hear me out. Joe Gorga, Nate Duvall, and Bill Aiden.
I can understand. I think Bill like naturally does like the face. No, not all the way because he's also had the work done and stuff. But like, I think his composure. I love his composure. That's attractive to me. Yeah. Joe Gorga, maybe exteriorly pleasing.
That's what but I don't think interiorly, like, we have nothing in common.
It just makes him like, ugh. Like,
you're too rah-rah, and I beg, I'll just sit there and be like, please, are you finished? Because
the only
this is your third fight, and I don't have time
I'm telling you.
I'm tired.
And I'm telling you, like, in that fight with John Fuda and Pauly, the way Joe Gorga wanted to get in it, I said, this guy, stop it.
I didn't get he wanted to go in it.
No, he was just like, oh, you're gonna support Louis? So you're supporting that? It's like, you didn't even need to say anything. Let the conversation happen between Fuda and Pauly. But he was just like smack in the middle, and he's just like, oh, let me just add my 2 cents. I said, Joe, chill out, bruh. Go drink something somewhere. You don't need to be in it. Let them fight it. Like, it's okay. But whatever.
I don't know. I don't feel like I got... I'm trying to think through like that scene to see like what he said. And if I didn't feel like I got.
He wanted some action. He wanted to be in.
I think what it is with Joe Gorga, amongst the men, he's like the pack leader. You know what I mean? So I feel like Joe Gorga tries to make a scene, like make the scene, if that makes sense. Like, make the scene happen. Produce. Excuse me. That's what I'm looking for. He tries to produce. He will, grab a bottle and, like, throw it down your throat to get you to have fun. He will be the one to, like, wax your chest and rip it off with his hand, which is disgusting and so unsanitary. But, again, man, I don't understand sometimes. So, it's what I gathered from that scene with him was, because he was inserting himself in, like, he didn't need to start the conversation with, oh, where's your boy? Like, you're being antagonistic with that.
No.
But I feel like I got producing as opposed to inserting.
Okay, that's cool. That's fair. But I'm telling you, that little man is a Napoleon complex.
You need to stop calling him a little man. I'm not doing this with you.
I'm sorry.
I'm not doing with this
I'm
with you.
sorry. Like, it's a
I
Napoleon
need you to stop calling that man little man.
It's a Napoleon complex.
Please, Jesus.
Why?
Oh, gosh. I can't do.
Oh, okay. There's nothing else. I'm saying it as
derogatory is what that's. It is.
America.
It is. It is.
I'm in Nigeria right now.
Because,
okay. That's okay.
And I call,
yeah,
that's what they call them.
It wasn't what I was saying, darling.
Okay, sorry for anyone that is listening.
And I would not be putting subtitles.
Yeah. So. Anyways, but either way. So that happened, and I'm trying to think if anything else happened during the episode. I mean, we did get to see Teresa and Melissa that are sending their children off to college, which again also saw Rachel's family and was introduced to. I think we met her Nona.
You fell in love
season.
with her family, like that.
I fell in love, not necessarily. I think I felt just in love with seeing the family interaction, like her and Nona. Sorry, I'm struggling with how to pronounce it because in Greek, Nona is actually a godmother. Okay. So my goddaughter calls me Nona. So, but it sounds like in Italian, it's Nona. It's Nona. A little different. So I'm trying to transition the translation. That's why if you see me struggling like this, that's the reason why. I don't know. I enjoyed that family, just seeing families together. That interaction and seeing her, she's like a little spitfire a little bit. You know what I mean? And Rachel's a little bit more of a subdued person. To see personality in her family, I think was interesting. Her little girls their adorable. Cheeks. Oh my goodness. They're so cute. And then I also just enjoy seeing the housewives as moms.
Yeah.
Because it humanizes them. And I think sometimes we need to see that from them. Like, these are normal people and everybody can relate to having a mother. And being a child.
One thing I wish about the one thing I wish that the housewives did do, and when we see them being moms, I wish they wouldn't wear so much makeup, and I would also wish to see them just like dressed down in the way that they actually would dress down.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that. Good luck.
It's like a whole glam team prepared you for 5 hours. So
you're not gonna get that.
It's like, what? Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
But the one thing I did notice about the cast this season is that, and especially with Rachel, I was like, ooh, Rachel looks different. Ooh, her husband looks different. Ooh, like, what did they do? What changes happened to them exteriorly that I can't, point out? And I think everybody on the cast, except for maybe Melissa, has done something different. And they all look like, and I will say that when I saw Marge walk to Jen Fessler's house, I was like, who's that lady? Because her legs were amazing. I was like, what? And then I'm looking, I'm like, it's Marge? Whoa. Unbelievable. They all look
I will
great.
say from all of them, money well spent. Dolo, money well spent, because that body yaddy yaddy. I'm glad she didn't listen to David, because it's giving.
Yeah.
It's giving.
Yes.
With Rachel, I don't know. I know that she said that her husband got lipo. With her,
he looks smaller. Yeah,
she had, and he lost weight, and I think he got lipo. Yeah. With her, I think she had the nose job even before she came on to New Jersey. Because remember, Jen was saying last season, she was like, "Well, you had a terrible nose job, and I had one, so I wanted to see which doctor you went."
That's it, right? Because I was like, something changed still about her nose, so she must again. I feel like it's more pointed. Or something, something has changed, because or she also lost a lot of weight, because
Rachel was,
I don't know, because she looks more gaunt to me.
It's possible that she could have lost weight because remember last season she had just dropped that baby.
Yeah, she did, but she was also skinny last season to me, because she has
a petite frame.
She's a petite frame, so when she gets smaller, I was like, whoa, wait, what's happening? But they all look good. They all look tan.
That's kind of crazy because last year we saw her when she had just given birth. That means that was her heavier weight.
Birth weight. Yeah. How tall is she anyway as a woman?
I need to see her up against like Melissa and Teresa, and then because if I've measured Teresa and Melissa against like other housewives, and I know they're short. They're short, so I feel like she would be a little bit like maybe 5'8", 5'9" type thing. Well, we'll see. I'll measure her up against Wendy and Mia because I've met both of them and I know that they are both 5'9", 5'10".
They say a lot of the places here are saying that she's 5'6" tall. So
5'6".
Yeah.
If that's then Melissa and Teresa must be like 5 feet.
Melissa, yeah, Teresa is small. Yeah.
OMG, then that means
because
Joe Gorga
look at the height of Teresa and her daughters. Like Teresa's just a little bit taller than her daughters. Her daughters are not that tall.
Okay.
That's very interesting because Joe Giudice standing next to Teresa. How tall was?
No, he was much shorter than her.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, he was shorter.
But needless to say, all of them have done great work on themselves. Yeah. Like, they look good.
They look good. Good job, y'all.
Yeah.
Very good job. I definitely... well, I'm not even going to go there, but anyway.
That's interesting. They say Teresa's 5'8". Melissa's 5'5". Joe Gorga's 5'6". Joe Giudice is 5'6". Louis Relis is 5'10".
So that's like... my height thereabout.
Yeah.
Because I'm 5'9". Okay. Alrighty. Well, anyways, either way, hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of New Jersey. We will be back again next week with a special guest.
Yes, recapping New Jersey.
Yep, New Jersey and some other shows potentially. You want to tell them who it is, Mare?
Yes, you're going to be hearing from me. I know.
It's going to be there. So, yes, you guys enjoy.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Please make sure that you look out for us on Spotify. We are at Reality Check Podcast. Also on YouTube, Reality Check Podcast, TikTok, and on Instagram as well. And then on Twitter, we are Reality Check P.
_P.
_P.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Tune in later. Love y'all.
Thank y'all. Bye.
Bye.